Smartphones. They literally put the world in the palm of your hands. And now, thanks to the Bluetooth module from Holley, they can control your Terminator X too. Versatility is key, so we made it compatible with iOS and Android devices, and it's capable of doing everything that your 3.5-inch handheld or 5-inch dash can do, and more. Once your Terminator X system is installed, all you have to do is download the app and pair your device. Follow along, and I'll take you through the setup process, guide you through the wizard, and show you all the cool new features that the Bluetooth module has to offer. The first thing you'll notice when you open the app is the Do Not Operate While Driving warning. Due to legal reasons, this message appears on the screen every time you open the app. Next, you'll find the Terms and Service privacy pages. Welcome screen that walks you through the premises of the app and what options or features are available within the Terminator X Bluetooth app. There's also a demo mode that you can access. While you're in the demo mode, you can play with the settings, make adjustments, and get an idea of all the features. But remember, you're not synced to the ECU when you're in demo mode. So if you just purchased a Terminator X or you're adding the module to your existing system, the Bluetooth module essentially replaces the 3.5-inch or 5-inch touchscreen, giving you full control right from your smartphone. You can run the startup wizard, upload and download new calibrations. You also have the ability to data log, perform firmware updates, and monitor engine parameters. Basically, anything you can do with the 3.5-inch or 5-inch screens, you can now do right from your smartphone. The first step is to connect your smartphone to the ECU using the Bluetooth module. With the Terminator X system properly wired and installed, the Bluetooth module gets plugged into the Mizu connector found on your harness. With everything connected correctly and the ignition switch in the run position, you should see a flashing green light. This means the module is ready to be paired. If the module has already been previously paired, the light will be a solid green. If you need to unpair a module, simply press the button and hold it for 10 seconds and the module resets completely. With the green light flashing, click Pair Device on your phone. It will ask you to confirm that the Terminator X system has been completely installed and that the key is in the run position. Once confirmed, click Next. Next, you'll need to press the pairing button found on the Bluetooth module. After you do this, the light will turn blue and you can press the pair device found on your smartphone. All available devices will be shown on the screen. Select the device that you want to pair to by pressing on the correct serial number of that device. Since this is a new install, only one device appears. If you have multiple vehicles with the Bluetooth module installed, all available modules will appear here. Once the pairing is complete, you'll get a success confirmation on the screen. But if either the Bluetooth module or the ECU is not up to date, you'll get a message saying update required. If any of your devices require an update, press the OK button to install the updated firmware and follow the prompts. Here it shows you that there are 2 updates required, one for the ECU and one for the Bluetooth module. Note the red text. It says that the Bluetooth firmware has to be updated first. Press Update Bluetooth Firmware and you can see which version it will install when you click the Install button. When the Bluetooth module update is complete, you can then update the ECU the same way. If this is a new install, you can go ahead and run the setup wizard now. If you're connected to a module that already has a good calibration in it, simply select Not Now. If you select Setup Wizard and the module already contains a working calibration, a warning will appear on the screen, letting you know that it plans to erase the existing save tune if you continue with the Startup Wizard. The first screen on the wizard will ask you for the part number of the kit that you've installed. A cool feature of the app is that you can actually scan the barcode on the box to enter the kit number, or you can physically enter the number with the keypad. Depending on the kit selected, it will auto-populate some fields based on the system options, such as the ignition type, whether it's using drive-by-wire, what drive-by-wire type, if there's a transmission to control, which transmission it is, and so on. If you don't happen to know your part number, you can still enter the information manually by clicking on the Skip tab at the bottom of the screen. It will ask you what type of injection you're using, whether it's a multi-port, throttle body, or direct injection. Next are the engine options. I'm installing this one on a Gen 3 Hemi, but we have options for Universal, Godzilla, LS, small block Ford, and more. The number of cylinders needs to match your engine. If you selected the Universal ignition type, you'll have the option to choose either 4, 6, or 8 cylinders. Be sure that the firing order is correct and that it matches your engine's firing order. If you chose Universal, all available firing orders will appear here. You'll need to enter the cubic inches of the engine since the wizard doesn't know if the engine is in stock form or if it's been bored or stroked. You can use the slider to adjust the cubic inches, tap on the box and enter the number manually, or use the plus and minus buttons to change it. Next, we need to select the cam based on the duration specs. The cam selections are broken down into 3 choices depending on the camshaft duration. The duration value is based on the cam specs, which is measured at 50 thousandths. This is a stock engine, so I'm going to choose the below 235 option. You need to choose whichever option closest fits your cam specs. Target idle speed can be whatever you want. We typically shoot for between 750 and 850 RPMs for a starting value. Use the slider to adjust the RPMs or click on the box and type in the value manually. You can also use the plus or minus buttons to fine-tune the RPM increments. Select the ignition type that's being used on your engine. Different ignition options will appear here depending on what engine type you chose earlier in the wizard. Since the Gen 3 engine we selected comes in various displacements, you'll have to select which version you have. The same holds true for other engines like the LS. Fuel pressure is critical for the engine. You'll need to choose between the 43 or 60 psi options. This should match the pressures of your current fuel system and regulator setup. Next, you'll need to know which fuel injectors you're using. We have a large selection of factory and aftermarket injectors to choose from, so be sure your selection is a good match. If you're running a power adder such as nitrous, a turbocharger, or supercharger, you need to select that here. This engine is using our Holley 1-bar map sensor, but we list a variety of map sensors, and there are even more choices when you select one of the power adder options in the previous screen. Some engine choices will have additional sensor selections based on the engine itself. This is a new screen found in the app. A suggested wide open throttle ignition timing value will be populated based on the parameters that you've entered so far. This is a conservative number since we don't want you to damage your engine. The timing value can, however, be increased or decreased as needed by using the slider, manually entering the number in the box, or using the plus or minus keys. If you have a Terminator X Max, it will ask you if you're using drive-by-wire. This question will not appear in the wizard if you have the standard Terminator X ECU. Next, it will ask you which drive-by-wire type you're using. Select the correct one and click Next. Click Yes or No if you're planning to control transmission. Like the drive-by-wire option, this option is only found on the X Max systems. Once you've made your selections, press the Create Base Tune prompt at the bottom of the screen, and you can select Upload the Tune. Once again, if there's already a tune in the system, it'll give you a warning telling you that the old tune will be erased. Would you like to cancel or continue? Press Continue and the upload will begin. When the new tune has been successfully uploaded, you'll receive a success message. It will also ask you to cycle the ignition power to complete the setup. You can press Done and then cycle the ignition off and back on to complete the upload. Whenever you power off, a connection dropped message will appear on the screen. You can either press Reconnect or press the Bluetooth icon near the top of your screen to reconnect to the module. Now, even though we have our base tune uploaded to the ECU, the engine is not going to start until we do a TPS auto reset. Press the wizard's icon. With the ignition on, press Start and fully open your throttle twice. Then press Next and you should get a success message. If you get a fail message, it will explain what the problem is, such as voltages being out of range or whatever the cause of the failure was. You'll also notice that we now have live TPS reading, and if I press the throttle, the value displayed on the screen will go up or down based on the TPS setting. Press Done when you're finished. Now we have a base calibration in the ECU and we're ready to start the engine. Before we start the engine, I want to show you some of the options that you can do with this gauge screen. You'll notice that we're in the sensor screen. If you press the 3 dots up in the corner here, you'll see that there are several options for other screens that can be selected. The sensors option is locked and cannot be changed. This is done to help our tech service people. There's always one way that they're able to go in and see your basic parameters to help diagnose any issues you may have. The rest of the screens are configurable. So if we go into the idle screen, you'll see that this channel is disabled right now. If you press on that channel, you can go in and turn it on, then select from any of the channels that we have available on CAN. You can also enable the alerts. This is a handy option to have, and it can flash red, orange, or any other color that you want to warn you of potential problems. Just set up the minimum and maximum ranges for the normal range, and then set the minimum and max for caution values. If we go back to the idle screen, you'll see that we are now showing a reading here. You can scroll through and see all the different gauge display options that are available. If you press the dash icon at the bottom of the screen, you'll see there's also an actual dash display, just like our larger race dashes. We chose the most popular parameters to be displayed on the screen, but all those can be changed and are totally configurable. If you choose to have a different gauge reading, you can, and the tick marks can be adjusted as well. The GPS gauge is super cool. It uses your phone's GPS to calibrate and display the vehicle's speed. There's no wiring or modules to connect. We can move into the tuning options by pressing the Tune button. You'll see the icon for the typical tuning areas like fuel, spark, idle, and sensors. If you've designated drive-by-wire or trans control in the wizard, icons for each of those will show up here, as well as the nitrous or boost ICFs. One thing to note though, you cannot change the pin type that you're assigning using the app. You'll have to use a PC to reassign them. Moving to the base fuel table, you'll see that you now have the ability to edit the table right from your phone. Press the Edit Table button and you'll find the fuel table. Due to the vertical format, it's a bit harder to navigate when compared to the PC, but you still do have the same capabilities. It just takes a little more patience since you can't see the whole table, but by flipping your phone, it does give you a little bit better view. In the table, you can adjust the VE numbers, but it has to be done one block at a time. A better way to do this is with the Edit Line Graph button. The Y-axis has KPA readings, and at the top you can choose where within those KPA readings that you adjust the fuel. So say you want to add more fuel at wide open throttle. You'd select the highest KPA readings, and the fuel can be adjusted per each individual dot, or we can adjust the whole fuel curve simultaneously. To do this, press the circle with the 3 dots, then press Edit Mode. Now select either the point or line option. With the line option selected, you can use your thumb to swing the entire fuel curve up or down to add or remove fuel from the table as needed. This can be done with the engine off, or you can do it live while the engine is actually running. So once you've made the changes, be sure to save them. If we wanted to add fuel in just one area, we could use the point-by-point option and add or remove the fuel point by point along the entire graph. Another great tuning option is our 3D table. You can't edit from here, and there's no bubble indicating a live reading like in the PC version, but it's perfect for taking a quick look and seeing if any peaks or valleys may develop that you need to smooth out. The 3D view is available for all the tuning tables, Spark, Target AFR, and Advanced tables, and each table can be edited in the same manner from the Edit Line Graph screen. Now let's start the engine up. I'm going to switch it back to the dash screen so I can show you how to do data logging, uploading and downloading calibrations, as well as downloading a tune. I will also walk you through performing firmware updates using build 110 or newer. Sorry, this does not include V1, V2, or V3 build 100. With the Bluetooth module, you'll have a range of about 60 to 70 feet using your phone or tablet while still staying connected. You'll notice that we're now receiving live data on the dash. To data log, simply press the logging tab and you'll get a screen like this. There are trigger settings and timers that you can disable or enable. These are activated by toggling the trigger enable button and setting the parameters within the boxes. Press go and a timer will appear, showing you that you're actively logging. If you try to press any of the boxes and make changes, you'll see a message notifying you that logging mode is active and that tuning changes are not permitted while data logging is in progress. Pressing the stop button will end the data logging process and a box will appear showing you what name the log is saved under. If we navigate into the Settings tab, you'll find a lot of information and useful help here. At the top, you can directly email questions to the tech service, or you can even place a call to the tech team. Further down, you'll see the Tunes and Logs tab. Pressing the Tunes tab will pull up any of the tunes that you may have saved to the app on your phone. If you want to save the tune that's currently running in the engine, press the 3 dots at the top and this screen will pop up. Press Download, and from here you can save it as is, or you can rename it to whatever you'd like, then save it. Now you have a file on your phone as a backup, or you can share it with a buddy. What's really cool about this is if you happen to be doing a remote session with your tuner, or you're working with tech service, you don't need a PC to transfer your data logs or tunes. When the download has completed, you'll get a success notification just like this, and you can click Done. Now if you want, you can go back into any tune just by clicking on it. From here, you can share it, rename it, send it to the ECU, make a duplicate to experiment with, or delete it entirely. By pressing the share button, you can easily email it, share it in Teams, airdrop it, or send it in Messenger, all without the need for a PC. Another scenario is someone sends you a tune via email. Go to your email and open the message. Click on the attached file and press the Share File via tab. When you do this, whether you're using an Android or an iPhone, the Terminator X icon will appear. Press the Terminator X icon and the tune automatically gets downloaded to your stored tunes in your phone. Other options under the Settings tab allow you to explore Terminator X and HyperSpark products. Clicking on these tabs takes you directly to our webpage. Under the Device Management tab, you have the ability to rename the device. You can use CUDA, Mustang, Truck, Hemi engine, whatever you want that allows you to keep your vehicle straight. If you rename your device, you'll have to cycle the key off, then back on, and reconnect to the Bluetooth module. Clicking the tabs below will allow you to see which versions and firmware builds are currently on the ECU and Bluetooth module. When updates to your current firmware become available, we can send it out and it'll automatically update the app for you. Same thing happens with the Bluetooth module. The firmware is already there, all you have to do is perform the update. You can even add multiple cars to your phone app by clicking the Add Device tab. It will walk you through the process of adding another vehicle with an installed Bluetooth module. Pretty impressive, huh? As you can see, there are a lot of cool new features within the Bluetooth module. A GPS speedo, live data, file sharing, and firmware updates, all without the need for a PC. Adding a Bluetooth module can make your Terminator X install even more convenient. If you'd like to learn more about our Terminator X EFI systems, check out our digital interfaces, or get your hands on one of the Bluetooth modules, visit us at Holley.com.